Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Nicolette Halladay. I am the CEO and founder of Inspired Hearts Publishing. Today, we're doing another The Voyage and the Return author interview with Tara Campbell. Welcome, Tara.
Hi, Nicolette. How are you?
Good. So great to have you here.
It's really nice to be here. So thanks as well for having me.
So Tara is, let me see. So if you want to take a minute to introduce yourself, Tara, what work you're doing in the world, and we'll just go from there.
Sure. So yeah, I'm Tara Campbell, and
Sorry about
and
that. I knew that.
I know it's okay. We're gonna get this rolling, and so I'm super excited to be here, and it has been such a joy being part of this book and working with Nicolette and all these amazing ladies and authors. So my work is in quantum healing, and I'm a transformation coach, and I work with people on healing connections and inner transformations.
I love it. And I know if you haven't had a chance to get a copy of The Voyage and the Return, make sure to pick up a copy. Tara's chapter is chapter 8, Connected to the Voice of Our Soul. It's an amazing read. And today we're going to be talking about what she wrote in her chapter, digging in a little bit more to the work that she's doing in the world, and just having a fun conversation. So great to have you. If you're joining us live, please say hello. If you're watching the replay, let us know. Say hello. So I'm using StreamYard. If you're making comments during the live, I'm not able to see those comments, but we'll make sure to circle back around and say hello. If you add any questions or insights, we'd love to have you share. So, okay. So Tara, share a little bit, just a snippet without giving it all away, about your chapter and what you share.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So my chapter, this was the first time I had an opportunity to dive into my bio and share it. And my life has kind of been full of adventure. And I mean that as in the terms of traveling and a lot of global experiences that I had. And when I wrote about my chapter, I also wrote about, my family experience. So every time I came home and the launch point into my next adventure, and how also my family experiences, some trauma that happened, also shaped the way that I was thinking in my life and how I made my next decisions. And we always try and do our best in the moment that we can. And so when I shared my story, it was really fun to connect all the pieces together and then create it as kind of a streamline as to, this is the sequence of Tara's life, and having that opportunity to unravel my story and connect the dots and bring me up to the present moment was very, very satisfying for me. And I hope that when people read it, I hope people also enjoy the storytelling element of it, enjoy kind of the adventurous life that I kind of had, and also see like the ups and downs of it all as well.
So much to unpack there. Absolutely, you're an amazing writer. So make sure to take a peek at Tara's chapter. And so you just unpacking a little bit of what you shared there. There's ebbs and flows in our journey, right? But reflecting, taking time to give our life the reverence, and really reflecting on how we've kind of come from, point A to point B. Obviously it's a chapter, so you don't get to share everything, but in a certain special space in your life, what was your favorite part about participating in this project?
Oh, yeah, that's a wonderful question. So for me, I will be very honest. I I live an extroverted life in some way, but I'm also a huge introvert. And I always like to keep my private life quiet, like some of the trauma that happened to me that I expressed in my chapter. I always like to keep kind of my sad stories to myself. And the biggest learning journey that I received writing this book is it's okay to tell your sad story. And, sadness happens in life, and I'm not a result or a victim of any of that. And
Mm,
so I really found that the opportunity to write this chapter and share it publicly
mm,
allowed me to resonate with that fully and completely, that it's okay to share your story, it's okay
yeah,
to tell the bad things, and it's okay to tell them beside good things, right? And that's what this whole experience has taught me, and the emotional process that I went through it. Yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's like just moving past it's beyond okay, it's actually empowering. It's empowering for not only us, but it's also empowering for people who get to see and understand that there's a full spectrum of emotions and experiences as we travel through this thing called life. And when we can be really real and honest about where we've been and our full experience and what has brought us here, where we're at now, and where we see ourselves going, it's really an invitation for other people to do that too. So thank you for showing up so authentically and sharing, a piece of your heart and story and journey in life with us. I so appreciate it. So, on the flip side of that, what did you find to be the most challenging about writing your chapter?
The most challenging thing, without a doubt, that first comes to my mind as these questions unfold, Nicolette, is allowing it as an experience for the reader to see and view it objectively. As
Mm,
like all of us, our internal stories are so complex, and so many ups and downs and ebbs and flows and crevices, that how can I condense this and make it also an entertaining piece of writing? How can
mm,
I make this so that the reader can also connect? So I wanted to add in all these things and everything that I thought that was important to me. So it was really like an editing process that
mm,
helped me learn to see and view my experience objectively and allow it to be an experience for a reader that can also connect to. So that meant taking out a lot of stuff that really wasn't important, or just, it's kind of like you're trimming your life a little bit.
yeah.
Like you're like cutting
Pieces
and
of
pasting of
it,
what you want to keep. And
yes.
because your heart is so emotionally connected to everything, it's really hard. Because if I was just to write a short story or an essay, it's so much easier. But because you're cutting out all the pieces of your life and putting them back together, there's really that emotional process in that journey. That was
Mm.
the hardest part.
So true. And I think it's so cathartic to share a story. And then, like you said, it's challenging to say, oh my gosh, this piece might not make the cut. But, to me, it was such an important piece. So I can understand that 100%. So in your chapter, you really share about your own journey, specifically as you kind of progress through your career,
Mm.
moved to different countries, tried on different professions, had an opportunity to, recalibrate, and really brought us through through your path on how you got to where you're at today. Um,
Mhm.
so how did what you share in your chapter, how does it relate to the work that you're doing in the world?
Yes, thank you so much again. That is very interesting, because when I was writing this chapter, and as I tell my life, and I had a business or I was an educator, we always have this fixed idea, oh, this is how I'm going to be the rest of my life.
Yep.
And it's not the case. And again, as we progress and move through our lives, they do get more complicated, right? And so as a transformation coach, right? This is what somebody just recently said to me as well. I'm like, wow, I'm amazed at how much transformation I have to do. How can I get through this? And this is also what I go through internally. And someone said to me recently, well, you're a transformation coach. That's what you do. And it was a really beautiful reminder for me that, yes, even the work that I do now, instead of adventure travel and a lot of the yoga I was doing, I've become more internal, and I think it's a reflection of the times as well. But my work now is more internal in the quantum healing field. And
Mhm.
for me, that's an opportunity to work with transformation on an internal level that can
Mhm.
match people's external lives.
Absolutely. And I think
Mhm.
it's such a great reminder that we are always evolving. And especially when we're working in very purpose driven, very personally connected work like transformation, um, this, being an entrepreneur is like the best container for personal development. So there's all kinds of opportunities to continue to, grow and heal and, recalibrate. So I can appreciate that so much. So, share specifically. So, how, okay, how do you work specifically with your clients? Who's like a great client to work with? Like, help people to maybe who haven't ever really understood, don't know, the term transformational coach or,
Mhm.
yeah, share a little bit more about that. I think you said quantum transformation, right? Quantum
Yeah,
tran
exactly. Yeah, thanks again, Nicolette. So, I have recently started working as a quantum healer. So that means that I offer healing sessions for people, and I call them healing connections for inner transformation because we work with the quantum field, which is our consciousness, as well as a healing space that is always present for us. And
Mm,
in my sessions, which are usually 90 minutes to 2 hours, I
mm,
take people on a bit of a journey, like a guide. And
mm,
we access emotions or patterns in their lives where they feel stuck or they know something's bothering to them, but they don't know how to get to the root cause. And I
mm,
act as a guide and I help people in their moment and in this session. And we'll access, places in our bodies. I'll work with the chakra system. I also do a lot of like breathing and techniques to help people move through emotions as we connect with a quantum field and their higher self for us to kind of reach that higher level of consciousness for them to imprint new emotional templates for us. So the
mm,
healing sessions are for people who are like, I really want to change in my life. I need to do a deep dive. And that's the kind of people that come to me. And I also just work with how people are feeling. So I'm not an energy healer or anything. I like to consider myself a guide. And
mm.
the sessions can be from like 1 to 3 sessions. And I have a group program coming up in the fall, which is a container where we can work together. And then people can also book additional sessions one on one to work through things they'd like to do by themselves.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about that here at the end. So anyone who's watching and might be
Mm.
interested or curious about working with you, we'll make sure to link up your information so people can connect with you. I think it's so I love what you said about people how when we get to a place, sometimes there are blocks that we can't necessarily see, and it sounds
Mhm.
like that's where you are able to help people really connect and see those blocks, see those patterns, and then, in re-imprint new patterns so that they can move past things easier. And it's so powerful. So thank you for the work that you're doing because I know the value of
Mhm.
of really people who are open to this kind of work, and it really does move you quicker, or maybe less, with a little bit less resistance. It's amazing. Sometimes you can just have a change like that. So it's incredible. So who is the perfect client? Where are they at in their life? Where, is it, is you have a really like in your, I hate to use the word like, ideal client, but is there someone that you just love to work with? If someone's watching this and it's like, if you're in this, and this place, this is a great, person that I can really help.
Yeah, sure. So the people that have already come to me or I've worked with, they kind of have a feeling inside. They're they'll say something's not right, and I know I can fix it. And I've tried every other avenue. I've
Mm,
tried, talk therapy. I've tried all kinds of alternative therapies, and I support everything. And
mhm,
I make it very clear that, okay, this is an opportunity for people to have a new experience, because in essence, it's multi-dimensional healing. And as we connect with all the layers of ourselves, and it's often a new experience for people. And when I begin a session, usually I meet with someone for 20 minutes and we'll talk. And what happens is, and I know other coaches and healers always feel this, oh my gosh, okay, I feel connected to this person and I feel ready to move forward. And
mhm.
so I just welcome people to question whether they are ready to confront issues in their lives, because during the healing process, we do stir up emotions in order to see them, reflect upon them, and then transmute them. So, with all of that in mind, a person would then feel called to this kind of work.
That's a
Mhm.
great I love how you explain so clearly, people have tried other avenues and they're just like, this thing, it's still,
Yeah.
and really opening up and seeing energetically what might be happening is such a powerful process. And I know, I've done a fair amount. Sorry, I have a fly. I've done a fair amount of I've done a fair amount of, energy work, and definitely this fly does not want to leave me alone. So so getting a little personal, what inspires you, both
Mhm.
in your work, and as a writer?
Oh yeah. Well, thanks so much, Nicolette, first of all, because I've always loved writing. There's something that just so cathartic about it. I think you used that word earlier. It's such a beautiful feeling when you construct sentences and vocabulary words that expresses the idea. So I've always had a passion for writing. And in this work, I really feel it's people. I've always worked with people my whole life in different contexts, as a yoga teacher, as a retreat leader, leading groups, an educator as well. So
Mhm.
I have a natural tendency just to connect with people. And so my favorite, though, recently with all of my new work is the massive shifts of transformation and how people feel after. There's just no replacement for that, like being connected to people on such deep levels and having that level of trust and understanding that, like, we can be witnessed without being judged, right? Because as I mentioned earlier, when I tell my story in this chapter, sometimes it's, oh my God, I want to hide, or I feel shame, or it's so hard. And well, when we can just let everything free and be transparent, that in itself is so healing,
Mhm.
right?
And
Yeah.
even and sometimes it just takes being seen by one person, right? And really accepted, and you're holding that space. I also love that, like, throughout your career, and I know you share about this in your chapter, is like you're always showing up to be a guide. So whether it's an adventure guide, or a guide or a teacher through yoga, and really continuously helping people in their exploration of these different topics. It seems like it's a really clear theme running through your professional pursuits. So I can definitely appreciate that.
It is, and that's what's so amazing is, oh, I should be ready for this. I should be, on top of it all. But life is a constant state of learning. We're in a constant state of vulnerability, and I think that's also, I always said, like, that's what makes the greatest leader is
Mhm.
the state of vulnerability and humility, because, at the end of the day, we're always just trying to do the best we can with what we have, right?
I love that. And I think that just to piggyback off what you said, yes, vulnerability is such it's a it's a characteristic of such an incredible leader. Um, and when we can do things and be okay without them being perfect, when we can move through
Mhm.
things, when we can show people that we can move through this, we can learn as we're moving. I think it's such the best way I want to say it is it's a relief for a lot of people, and it gives them permission to move ahead on their big things that sometimes we get stuck in perfectionism and we're never going to make any progress. So just being able to say, I'm human, I'm doing this, you can do this, you can do this your way. It's such a, like, it's helping us become leaders in our own life. And that is a valuable tool.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's beautiful as well. Like, just keep moving. Keep
Keep
moving.
moving. So a little wobbly, or we kind of fall down, or we have to recalibrate, but then just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And people, I just know in my own, in my own business, and people will be repelled by it, and those are
Mhm.
definitely not the kind of people I want to work with, so I'm okay with that. Or people are enticed to this idea that, oh, okay, it can look like
Mhm.
this. So I value it so much. So let's see. Just kind of going through. So share a little bit about your current project. You mentioned a group
Mhm.
program. How, if someone is watching this and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm really connecting to Tara, I feel like she could be the one to help me. How can they, what projects are you excited about that you're working on or that are coming up for you?
Yeah, thanks, Nicolette. I am really excited. I'm moving forward, as we talked about. And so I work with private clients, and everything is on my website called awakenedintegration.ca.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
I
like,
believe the links in the book, right, at your
mhm,
bio, but I'll make sure to link it to this video for
yeah.
sure.
So
Get the
I
book
work with
if you haven't.
individuals.
Get the
I
book,
have
read
it
Tara's
right here.
chapter.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
yay!
It's a beautiful feeling,
It
really.
does, it is,
Yeah.
it's the best feeling holding your book. So get the book, read Tara's chapter, leave an Amazon review, because I know Tara would love to hear your feedback, and we love to see those reviews, so go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, that's what we're here for. It
Having
is,
a little fun.
it's a
Yeah,
wonderful experience. This has been so much fun, just all of it. And
I love
so, yeah, and so my projects, I am developing a group course for the fall for people who are like want to dabble in like what is this all about? Because I know quantum healing, it just sounds a little woo. And I just was in this conference a week ago, 2 weeks ago, called Embrace the Woo. Because
it.
I really want to simplify like what this healing is, because it can be simple. So my group program is called Sacred Confidence. And
Mm.
it's going to be a group program where people can connect with, how can we feel more worthy? How can we step up? How can we feel like leaders in our lives? And I know this all comes down to feeling confident. And so it's a 4-week program.
Good
And I'm
confidence. That sounds so empowering. I love it.
Yeah, and I'll be, probably running a program again, but I'm really gonna. This is my launch for the fall, and so you can sign up for that. It's a 4-week program, as I'm just putting it all out, so you can follow me as I'm just creating the masterclass. And Sacred Confidence is one angle for us to work with people who want help with learning how to create boundaries,
Mm.
learning how to feel self-love,
Mm.
learning how to feel less anxiety, learning techniques to feel grounded in our bodies. So I'm really applying a lot of my yoga and breath work, because this is what I've done and this is how I bridge this work as well. So let's use these techniques to help us feel grounded in our bodies and feel confident, and have the energetic strategies to help us move forward in life, help us feel more confident. And we're going to be connecting to some quantum healing principles as well, because these are the principles that really connect us to that inner observer, like those places within ourselves that we know we have that inner knowing.
Mm, I love that. And so sounds like a great and powerful container to really tip your dough in the water of quantum healing and energy and what that means. I love group containers. I think we can learn so much from each other as we're going through these kinds of transformations. It can create for some powerful, relationship building, right? So that sounds like a wonderful way. And then you get a taste of working with Tara and learn a little
Mhm.
bit more about kind of what her method and modality is, and then maybe move through to a individual coaching session, right, or a healing session. So
Yeah,
yeah,
whatever people feel. Yeah.
yeah. So I will add the link to your website here. Is there anything else you want to add before we sign off here?
Yeah, I just want to say that I really appreciate you, Nicolette. I appreciate, the community of all the women that are stepping up and sharing their stories.
Mhm.
And it has just been a real amazing opportunity to be part of everything. And I just want to thank you for that. And I really hope that when people read these stories, they can connect as well and feel inspired.
Mm,
Mhm.
I love that. Thank you. It is my pleasure. I sometimes get a pinch myself because I feel like these are the women that I get to surround myself with, and I learn so much from every single one of their stories. So it's such a just like, oh my gosh, how did I get so lucky to get to do this kind of work and to share these stories with the world? So an exciting thing is next week we're going to be opening up the book club. So if you are interested in joining our voyage, join our voyage, the Voyage and the Return book club. I will put the link for the Facebook. It's going to be a Facebook community. It's going to be an opportunity to meet, connect, and meet Tara and the other contributors. Ask questions. We're going to be reading the book as we go, and really sharing in your own personal journey, your own voyage, your own transformation. I'm really excited to make this a community that is an invitation for more people to start sharing. I think that is the way. It's a big piece of our healing journey collectively and individually. And I'm so happy to be facilitating that. So if you're interested, join the Facebook group or reach out to Tara or myself or one of the other contributors, and we'll make sure to get you connected. All you have to do is have the book. You can buy it for $1.99 on Amazon, the digital copy, or the paperback for $11.11. We also have a hard copy for $22. So make sure to grab a copy. I don't know about you, but to me, there's nothing like holding a book in your hands. So that's definitely my favorite way to read and consume a book. It makes it so, you get a highlight and go back, and it makes it really real. So make sure to grab a copy and leave us a review if you feel inclined. But we're excited to see who comes in to the book club and kind of joins us on our journey. So thank you so much for being here, Tara. It's such a pleasure visiting with you today, as always. And everyone, that's all for us today. So goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.